and welcome to episode 608 of the Connected Podcast from Relay. This episode is brought to you by Squarespace and Sentry. My name is Myke Hurley, and I am not going to introduce Federico. I am going to introduce the annual chairman, Stephen Hackett. Hi, Stephen.
Take that, Federico.
Yep.
He's
Just
not
jump
here.
right over him because he's not here.
He's
so
off.
it's easy to jump over him when he's not here because he would have said something otherwise. Yeah, Federico couldn't make it this
Ciao.
week. We're in the summer season, and we're all booking in our dates where we're not going to be here, and so
Yeah.
that's just the summer, baby.
Yeah, it is. It's a busy time. Busy time.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
But we're here. We're going to do a show.
Yes,
We've done
Uh-huh.
607 of these, and we're going to do one more today.
yes, exactly. I hope so.
Are the episode numbers getting weird to you?
I mean, I have the Pen Addict,
Sure.
so like we're into the 700s now.
Yeah, you did
I think.
721 today.
Yeah,
yesterday.
so I don't know what to do with all of that information. It's just like
Mhm.
it's noise. It's mostly.
It's funny. So on the homepage of relay.fm, episode 130 of Conduit,
Yeah.
721 of the Pen Addict,
Yeah.
661 of Clockwise, 2 of Intentional AI.
Yeah. Well, things are happening.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
we're
853.
finally getting some small numbers back into the CMS again.
853 of MPU.
That's honestly like incredible and also disgusting. Like that number is ridiculous.
Yeah.
We're not, it's still a ways away. We're not far away from a 4-digit number.
No. So MPU will be there
It's
in
like 3 years.
2.4 years.
Mm.
If I did my math right. And
Which is not that long.
No, it's
Like,
not.
That is not that far away. So.
No. It's really not. Anyways, hello. We are here.
Yeah. Speaking of ridiculous things I don't understand,
Nice.
you posted. I think this is just follow up because I think we spoke about all of this recently. But you wrote a blog post kind of detailing your home network cabinet.
Mm-hmm.
You sent this to me and Federico said, "I don't care. I don't." What did he say? I don't operate a school.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like what this looks like.
Yeah.
This is like pure industrial equipment.
Yeah.
But
He was having
it does
Wi-Fi
look so
issues.
good.
And I was like, hey,
yes,
you could
that
solve
was
it with a whole rack full of equipment.
Yeah. And it looks, it does look incredible.
It does.
It's very beautiful. This is a pure project kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I am a little uncomfortable about the 1,000 cables going into the wall.
Yeah, I didn't want to write about that part, so I'll talk about it, but it's horrifying.
It looks really uncomfortable to me. It's basically, so you've got all the equipment. We've been through it before, I think.
Yeah.
But you can go and read all about it now, especially if you want links to everything, because we probably didn't do that when we spoke about it before. There is what looks like a zip-tied bundle of 30 cables, which I'm assuming are Ethernet cables, just going into what looks like one outlet on the wall.
Yeah, a little 2-gang. So it's Ethernet and then one fiber cable and coax. There's a coax cable in there too. That's a 2-gang box. It's just completely open. It's actually got brushed. It's like a brush material, so spideys don't come in and out of it. So behind that wall is attic space. My office is upstairs in our house, and that's attic space behind me. And I use that attic space to get the cables wherever they're going in the rest of the house. A friend of mine helped me with this project, and we did it last summer. And we sort of got to a point, it's like, if we do any more work, we're going to die. It was so hot. And so it's a real disaster. There's basically a pile of Ethernet on a shelf behind that wall. And at some point this winter, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the umbilical out of the office, cut the cables to a more reasonable length, label them all, and do it correctly. They all work. It's just, if I have to track something down, I think right now I just have to run a new cable because it's a tangled mess back there. But that's my shame that I didn't want to show the internet. So
if you'd rewired, you wouldn't have to have all these cables, or would you still?
No, I would. It's just the management of them on the attic side would be much better.
But we don't see that.
No, but if I have an issue, if I have a cable that dies or is flaky right now, isolating what it is would be tricky. I mean,
yeah,
I
there's
know
a
what's
lot
on
of
each
tugging.
end, but I don't.
Yeah.
But the middle part is a disaster. And
Who
so,
knows? But this part, even the part that is ostensibly neat, is
Mhm.
horrifying to me.
I mean, you're gonna have it, you know.
Yeah, there's no way around it, right? With the way that you're.
Yeah.
I'd never really considered this, like obviously people that have whole home in Ethernet. There's just going to be a lot of cables. I don't
There
know
are.
why I just imagined it was one cable, but obviously it's not. Like it's just one
No,
really
it's a whole
long
thing.
cable.
So like this same friend, I helped him wire his house. He moved recently as well, and his setup is similar to mine, but his attic space is above where he put his network rack. And so it's just like a sleeve of cable going into the ceiling, and you don't even really see it because his rack is wall mounted. Mine is not wall mounted, just sitting on the floor, and I couldn't go up. I had to go out through that wall. And so you see it maybe a bit more with my setup than you would sometimes. And it's not ideal, but it's just in the office. Like, unless you're up here and you're looking for it, you don't see it. And I made it as neat as I could, right? They're all Velcroed together, somewhat neatly.
I mean, you could just push. Like you just push it in front, never see it.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about because that's on wheels, right? So you're like,
yeah, but I need to access that cabinet next to it. So, and that 2-gang box, it was actually it had like a coax, like a cable connection in it. And I didn't want to like cut a new hole in the wall when I already had one. You know what I mean? It's like, well, it's right there. Like it's close enough. So, but yeah, it's been a fun, it's complete overkill and silly, but it's super robust. Like I wrote a little bit about it. The way I have it, so I have Comcast, like Xfinity is my main connection, but it's flaky because Comcast is like flaky no matter where you live. And I have an AT&T like DSL connection as my failover because like more than ever, if the internet is down, I can't be at work. And the DSL is cheap, and I was contractually obligated to AT&T for a while. And this setup can, like, if the Comcast goes down, it automatically moves me over to AT&T, and Comcast comes back up, it moves back. Now, a very funny side effect of that is because Memphis is in the corner of Tennessee, Arkansas, Mississippi, Comcast thinks I live in Mississippi. And AT&T doesn't. And if you're like streaming Hulu or Netflix and the internet changes out from under you, it's like, oh, wait a second. You're not in the same place. We have to stop all playback. Like it's tripped some sort of thing.
Well, where does it think you live?
AT&T thinks I live in Tennessee, but Comcast, like if you ping my external IP address, it shows up in Mississippi. I do not live in Mississippi. Oh,
no,
it's close.
I know. That's very strange.
Yeah. I mean, this is the problem with like, so for instance, Blue Sky is blocked in Mississippi because like, right now in the US, state by state, they're sort of doing internet regulation.
Oh, that's funny.
And so with Blue Sky on my phone, like just on cellular, on 5G, I can look at Blue Sky. At home, I can't. I went through the process of like telling the internet, like, no, I am 18. Like I can see Blue Sky. And because those things like the state by state regulation kind of doesn't work around the edges because ISPs don't have, it's not exact location. Your phone, it knows exactly where you are. But anyway, it's a very strange side effect. But anyways, it can do all that stuff. I have all my storage. My camera's stored locally, which I really appreciate. There's no subscription cost to any of this. And it looks cool.
It sure does. I wanted to just mention the Designed in California Kickstarter is still running. We're over halfway through now.
Yeah.
So please go check it out if you haven't already. We're today publishing the 3rd episode out of 4 of the Apple II series that we're doing in the upgrade feed.
I told Jason this last night. We were talking. I didn't tell you. I help myself to it. Sometimes I just help myself to things in the CMS.
I do this too. I hoped you would actually.
Yeah, it's good.
But
I've really enjoyed the series.
I meant to mention it to you, but forgot. Yeah, so basically what Steven's saying, he's just yanked it all out of somewhere. Like what? Where did you get it all from?
No, I haven't listened to episode 4. I listened to episode 3 last night because you already had it in our CMS, and so I was like, oh, here's the URL for the MP3. Thank you.
Yeah, so that's all available for Steven, and it will be for the time this episode's out. Episode 3 of that series will come out. 3 and 4 are my favorites. So in this episode, we're kind of talking about what the Apple II is and what Wozniak's genius was, but also the other people around that I didn't know existed, who are not really in the condensed history.
Yeah,
that helped make the Apple II a thing.
Rod Holt,
Very cool. Rod Holt,
legend.
I know now.
Yeah. I heard you. I mean, I heard. I was like, yeah, that guy.
Yeah, I figure you know all this stuff, but I don't, and I think that's the benefit for other people because I'm expecting the vast majority of our listeners also do not know these things.
Yes,
so.
I mean, I know that was part of y'all's plan.
Yeah,
I'm not just blowing smoke. Like I really believe this. The combination of Jason sort of being the expert, he lived through a lot of it. He covered a lot of it. Like, when y'all get to the iPod, like he's in the keynote, like he just scans across the room and little baby Jason Snell sitting there. That works really well because you are newer to this, and it works in a way that, if Jason and I did it, I don't think it would work as well because we're sort of experts at the same level.
Yeah, I think that there would be an element of, and I do not mean this in a bad way for either of you, but like trying to out-expert the other one.
Sure.
Like,
oh yeah.
I know more. No, I know more, which is super. No, I mean these are the things we're all doing to each other right now, all the time, right?
Yeah.
But like I mean, I just know that this is just what I've done for so many of my shows, like the Pen Addict is an example, right? Like Brad has all this knowledge and asking questions, and over time I build knowledge, but it's never as much as he has.
That's right.
And so, yeah, that is the thing where, like, when I'm going through our scripts, I'm like, I don't understand what this means or why is this important, and that kind of helps kind of flesh it out a little bit more for the many, many, many people who just don't know this history. So
yeah, you play the audience.
Yes, exactly. That's the thing that I've been doing for most of my career, so I can do that part. Designing California is going to be a real show coming later on in the year. Everyone will be able to listen to it, but you can become a member in advance, basically, and support the show still through to the end of the month by going to design.fm. I wanted to talk about betas a little bit because I've had some more experiences that I wanted to share with you, but have you...
Betas.
Indeed. Have you changed? Have it changed at all for you? Have you put anything on any more devices or anything like that?
No, it's still just on my MacBook Neo and a secondary sort of test iPhone. And not having it on my carry phone, like I do have less experience with the Siri AI stuff than if you're carrying it every day. I will make that switch probably sooner than I normally do on my main phone. But so I've had more experience with Golden Gate, the new macOS version, and it feels really solid. I really appreciate the design changes, like at a point where like I'm using Tahoe every day, right, on my MacBook Pro. And like I already didn't like the sidebar design in Tahoe, and I've like really come to hate it because I've now seen like, oh,
right,
this is what it should have been all along. And so it makes Tahoe really stand out, like the bad things, like the icons.
I guess that's positive, though. I mean, like
it's good.
If now
it's
you're
good.
seeing it worse, it means that it's better, right?
Yes,
you've had a better experience.
The same thing with the icons, that they just look so fuzzy and bad on like iOS 26, and then I pick up my iOS 27 phone. It's like, oh, like this looks actually really good, and. So that's all very interesting, and I think like you said, it's a sign for me at least that the design changes are, I think, universally positive. I don't think they backtracked really on anything in terms of aesthetic or usability. And the Siri stuff on macOS is really solid. Like I've been doing the thing of like, hey, here are these PDFs. Here, having the search and Siri kind of all combined. It does mean though that I think I'm going to end up using Spotlight long term. So I used Spotlight in Tahoe until about a month ago, and I was like, the friction from after using Alfred for a decade was just still too much. So I went back to Alfred, and it's great. I think I'm going to want it all combined in Golden Gate, and so like, do I? I'm kind of questioning now like what I do about that. Maybe I don't. Maybe I keep using Alfred, and then I just put Spotlight as a secondary keyboard shortcut when I want to use Siri AI. But Golden Gate feels really good. The features are really good, and it's it's from a feature perspective, like there's some new stuff in Notes and Reminders and Safari and things. But overall, I think it's the stability, it's the design, and it's the of course the Siri stuff.
So I'm trying to be very chatty with Siri at the moment, and I'm just like trying things out with it a lot. And I had a few experiences that I wanted to share, and it really is indicating to me just how LLM-like Siri actually is now. Like, the more I'm using it, the more I'm realizing in practice how they have stripped out and started again, because it just doesn't function the same as Siri used to, and this is like in positive ways. So I have 3 different examples. So one was I wanted to get my step counts. Does it have access to my step count, right? And I asked, and it said that it couldn't access health. They just said it couldn't do it. So I was like, well, okay, let me go to health. I think it mentioned that you can turn it on, though. So I went to health, and you could turn it on with Siri. And then I asked it again, and it didn't have it. But I was like, I think I understand a little bit more about personal context now. Don't kind of like give it some data and then immediately think it's going to have it, right? So I gave it a little while, and I asked again, and it said it didn't have access to health, right? But I know that it does. So I said, you do have access to health. And then it was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
right?
that's so annoying with LLMs of like, you point in the right direction, it's like, oh,
It's like, oh, yeah, I do have that. And then it was like, oh, yeah, here's some examples of things you could ask me. Like, what's my step count? Which is so funny because it's what I wanted. So I said, great, what's my step count? And it gave me the answer. And now does it reliably, like the health questions. It doesn't have what I was like, I asked it, like, what was my sleep like? And it gave me the amount of sleep that I have. And I was like, well, but what was it like? And it couldn't really give me any answer for that. It's like, okay, that's just not what the model does. But it was interesting where it was like, I had to kind of convince it. And once I convinced it, it then knew what it needed to do. It's like, oh, I've experienced this before with other LLMs, right? Another one was, because I was with Underscore the last couple of days. That was why the step count one came up. And then he was like, we were talking about this. And he was like, what would it do with a locked note? Right? So I wrote an Apple note, just like some details in an Apple note. And I asked Siri to, I was like, can you tell me what I put in the note called workflow note or whatever it was called? And it gave me the information. Then I locked this note in Apple Notes and asked it again. And it said, this note is empty. But in the UI in Siri, it showed that the note was locked. So it's like the LLM-ness of it, right? The Siri AI is going out to Apple Notes, and it's like, what do you have for me in this note? And Apple Notes goes, I've got nothing for you. And so then Siri's like, well, it's empty, because it seems like it's not completely aware of the fact that the note is locked. Now, I'm not saying that this is bad or poorly made. It is just interesting to me that it really feels like now Siri is just going out to the system and asking for stuff and then reporting what it gets back.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, very different to the previous Siri, where it felt like a lot of actions with intents and stuff are very hard coded, right? Like it could do these exact set of things and it either do them or not do them. When now it feels like there's a little bit more negotiation with the operating system. And another way that I've had this is that you can where it's like when you have an LLM in the middle, it can do some kind of reasoning to what you're asking. So I have 2 reminders in my reminders, Apple reminders. One is to take out the bins on bin night, and then one is to collect them the next day, right? And so I took the bin out, and I just said to Siri, I've taken the bins out. That's it. I gave it no other context, no other information. I just said, I've taken the bins out. And it replied, Great. I've marked your reminder complete.
Yo.
And then the next day I said, I've collected the bins, and it marked that reminder complete too. And I had one yesterday. I also have one to put my laundry away. And I said, I put away the washing. And it said, I've marked your laundry reminder complete.
Ooh, boy. That's cool.
And so it's supernatural. And like now I'm starting to I'm doing something with Siri now that I've never done before, where I am talking to it naturally. I don't feel like I'm arming myself with all the key phrases that I need, right?
Yeah. Because you used to have to speak to Siri in coded language.
Very literally,
Yeah.
right? Which would not be able to do anything for you. So there are good sides and downsides to it, right? Like the good side is this kind of like very natural conversation, but then the downside is like because of the architecture that enables that, sometimes it gets a little confused. But I think those are all parts that can be improved upon, right? Like that's all, I think, somewhat fixable with the amount of context it gets and also the amount of like prompting that Apple gives it behind the scenes. It can tweak all of that. But the core of like, I can just speak naturally to the system. It understands what I'm saying, knows what's on my phone, and can act on it. It's pretty sweet.
It's sort of wild to me. I mean, I know they've been working on it for a couple of years, right? But it feels like a lot of this came together in the last year, last 9 months, maybe.
So in the tech talk that I went to,
yes,
Myke Rockwell said that they had a version of it working last year, but it still wasn't good enough. So that's when they ripped Siri apart. So it's only really been a year.
Wow. It's very impressive given where they were, how far it's come.
Yes.
And having, I know the tech talk was a lot about this, but having so much of that be on device, even though it comes with a little bit of a cost, with like the 12 gigs of RAM, those phones get a little bit better model. That's what I really like about it. I like that, yes, like it was trained, they did their training runs in big data centers, but I like that if I'm asking about something on my phone, most of the time it's just going to happen on my phone.
It depends. Sometimes they send stuff. Like, so say like, if you ask about, they use this example, right? If you ask about some messages, you say like, what did Stephen tell me about such and such? Sometimes, I think most of the time, what will happen is your phone locally finds the messages, then it sends those messages to the cloud to be analyzed, and then a response is sent back.
Okay.
So it's a bit of a joint model. It's not completely clear, and I think that's kind of their point of when things are done locally and in the cloud, because there's a bit of a combination between the two.
Yeah.
So.
It'll be interesting to see what works completely offline. Like if you're
I have not tried any of that yet.
In airplane mode or something.
Yeah. I honestly, I don't even know if Siri works in airplane mode. Yeah, I haven't tried it. I had two thoughts on personal context.
Okay.
Right. So there's a lot of questioning about, are big developers going to implement this?
Yeah.
Right. There's a lot of questions about this. Like, why would they do this? Why would they do this? And I'm wondering if we might see more adoption of it because users will expect it. Like I feel like a lot of things I'm hearing talk about is like your Instagram DMs, right? Why would Meta open your Instagram DMs to Siri AI?
Yeah.
And I do wonder if people get used to it, just imagine that they like it, would benefit Instagram to do this, because if people really value this as a tool to find the things they've spoken about, they may use Instagram DMs less for that reason. Now, I know that's like there's a lot of things have to go right for that use case to be correct. But I do think that liquid glass adoption is quite key to this argument that I'm making. Like, Instagram has a liquid glass toolbar. I don't think anyone expected they were going to do that. Right? Like, I think there was a lot of talk beforehand of like, there's no way that these big cross-platform apps are going to adopt Apple's redesign.
Mm-hmm.
But they have. Like, Instagram, WhatsApp, they are all using liquid glass UI.
Meta did their own sort of janky implementation of it. It's not.
That doesn't matter.
Not quite.
I don't think that matters.
Not quite
they didn't have to do it, right? They could have just kept, like Google hasn't.
Yeah.
So it's just a thought.
Yeah, I think it will be driven by customer demand. If you're a big company, I think it will be driven by, are your competitors doing it? Like, then do you need to? Are you being left out of something that users are doing? But I do think, they talked a lot about, Neil Patel has talked a lot about this on Decoder and the Vergecast, about like, are you just stripping your app for parts and like the data inside of it? And for some apps, that's a bigger risk than others, right? Being totally just like the user never interacts with your interface. Like, that's a bigger problem for some apps than others. But I think the majority of apps will support this, and those that don't, over time will become more and more of an outlier. How fast that happens, I don't know. I suspect that this fall, when this rolls out, remember, it's not in every country, it's not in every language. Like, it will be a slower thing to roll out, but I think the end of year 1, year 2, year 3, we will see. I think basically everyone will be there in some fashion, right? It may be that, and I don't know how, like, to what level every app will do it, but I think at least basic support will be pretty widely adopted eventually.
Yeah, I think it's, you said like third party, like indie apps, they're all going to start supporting it probably pretty quickly. And then it's like, if it catches on enough, then it will spread out. I did have one second thought though, which is there's going to be so many social media scare posts about Siri knowing all your secrets.
Oh yeah, Threads is gonna be useless.
Just ask Siri this, right? Like, people will create this like these things that you can ask it, and it will obviously know the information, and they're gonna be like, it's spying on you. So get ready for that, everyone. Look forward to my mum saying, "Is it spying on me?" or whatever,
For sure. It's that's going to be a thing. I mean, it already is, right? Like,
yes,
your phone's listening to you. It's not. I probably promise.
But is it?
Is it?
But is it? I mean, it is, but not in the way you think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we know they're listening to us, because how else would it otherwise hear the trigger words? But
yeah, but I mean, people think like, I talked to my wife about a trip to Connecticut, and then I get an ad for a Connecticut trip in Instagram.
There was a good point about that on the talk show, the WWC talk show, where it's like the actual truth is much worse, like about how they know this stuff about you.
Yeah.
The easy thing would be they were listening.
Yes.
The horrible thing is they understand what you're interested in based upon what you're looking at, right? Like there's an algorithm that knows exactly everything you care about just because of some taps that you do inside of a photo sharing application.
For sure.
That's way worse.
This episode of Connected is brought to you by Squarespace, the all-in-one website platform designed to help you stand out and succeed online. So whether you're starting something new or you're scaling something you've had for a while, Squarespace gives you everything you need to claim a domain name, showcase your offerings, grow your brand, and get paid, all in one place. I've been using Squarespace forever. It is always what I recommend to somebody looking to build a site. And the reason I do that, the reason I keep coming back, is because Squarespace keeps getting better with time. Take Blueprint AI for example. You can quickly build a website bespoke to your business. You just input some basic information with your industry and goals, and it takes that and it combines it with one of Squarespace's beautifully and professionally designed templates, and suddenly you've got the start of a great-looking website. No experience required. But if you have experience, Squarespace lets you dig in deep with things like custom CSS, and you can do header code injection. Lots of features in Squarespace for power users as well. This is not a platform just for beginners. It's for everyone. Seriously, I build on Squarespace. It's always what I recommend, and you should go check it out. Go to squarespace.com/connected for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use the offer code CONNECTED to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain name. That's squarespace.com/connected and the offer code CONNECTED to get 10% off your first purchase. My thanks to Squarespace for their support of the show and all of Relay.
Something's happening.
Oh.
Something's going on. So Tim Cook has given an exclusive interview to the Wall Street Journal, essentially saying that RAM prices, they're bad. And he says price increases are unavoidable. We're doing our best to mitigate the huge increases that are being passed to us, and we've been trying to shield our customers from the increases, but the situation has become unsustainable. There's less supply at a time when consumers want devices, and the memory guys are passing along huge price increases. I've never seen anything like it in any area in over 40 years. So I've pulled in a couple of quotes together. There is a frustration to me in this article of like, Tim is not saying why this is happening. The idea of consumers want devices, that's not the reason. No. Consumers have always wanted devices. We have no RAM because it's in all the data centers, right? Yep. Like he never mentions that in this.
Yeah, it's that data centers are taking it. It's also that companies that were making DRAM have shifted what they're making in some cases.
Yeah.
Some companies have exited the consumer DRAM market or creating DRAM for manufacturing to do other things more geared towards data centers. And the two of those things together has led to this shortage, which the economy means RAM is harder to get and it's more expensive.
Yep. But like, it's just funny to me. Like, yes, this is happening, of course, but there is a reason for it. He's just like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about why, but let's just think about the fact that it's happening. So obviously this means that iPhone prices are going to go up.
Yeah,
right?
This is laying the groundwork for that.
Yeah.
And they're having Tim Cook do it because he's getting ready to leave. And if you're laying the groundwork for this now, it's potentially less of a thing of like, oh, we have a new CEO and the phone's 15% more, right? Like it's smart to have Cook do this in particular.
But I think there's something bigger happening.
Okay.
And I don't know what it is, but it's like, I don't know if you saw, but Trump said that he truthed that Apple and Intel are going to work together.
Yeah.
And then also in the Wall Street Journal article, there's a whole thing where Cook is talking about Chinese RAM, which is something that US companies can't access.
Mm-hmm.
It's like quite heavily sanctioned. And he's kind of a little bit like, wouldn't it be nice if we could have some of that?
Uh-huh.
And he's like, I think he says something along the lines of, he believes everything should be on the table. And then also starts talking about like, we'll use our money to solve this problem if we have to, but what we can't do is make our own. And so I kind of feel like there is a bunch of little things bubbling here. And I'm starting to wonder if we're going to see the impact of some dealing happening.
Maybe, hey, we're going to work with Intel. We're going to do stuff in the US. Intel is struggling.
Yes.
But we also want access
some of that RAM.
To some Chinese market components.
So he said, the quote, I think everything needs to be on the table. Yeah. I think we should look at all supply. And
he's Tim Applin. He's just out there doing things.
Yeah, so this is what I'm saying when I think, and he also says, we're willing to use our balance sheet to be a part of the solution. Obviously, more capacity is needed, but they're not going to do it themselves.
Are they willing to use their profit margin to help offset this, which is famously high on their hardware and astronomically high on services?
Well, I think they already have been, right? But, I don't have a sense for how much the prices are increasing in a way that would affect the customer. But looking at the industry at large, everything's going up by massive amounts. And so maybe they go up by not as much, but still go up, right?
Yeah. In this article, it says that Morgan Stanley estimates a 15% bump of prices of smartphones and PCs in the US this year. So maybe Apple goes 5%, 10%.
12, 14, 14.5%.
12.5. And Apple could do it unevenly because they could, you want the 17E to remain cheap. You want the MacBook Neo to remain cheap. And a 10% increase in a $600 product is way more noticeable than that same dollar amount added to a $2,000 phone or a $4,000 laptop. And so this could be a sliding scale where the more expensive products, they go up, but they're sort of spreading the pain in a way that's less noticeable on the low end, which I think is important because everyone is affected by price increases. Everyone is affected by inflation, but people with less money to spend on less expensive products feel it more. And so maybe they can use their, do some math there to kind of figure that out. But I do think you're right. I do think he's angling for a change in policy. And that's what he's good at, right? I mean, Cook.
That's what he's gonna. That's his job now.
It is literally his job.
Yeah. My bet is the Pro iPhone. There is no 256. It starts at 512, and it's like a little bit more expensive, like 10% more expensive, and that's the way to kind of smooth it out.
Right, like they did the Mac Mini. They got rid of the entry level.
Yeah. I think that's going to be key. Whether they do, and I don't think there'll be a 2 terabyte. I reckon they'll step 512 and 1 terabyte, and that's it.
Maybe, yeah.
Because like even he says like it's not just RAM, it is also storage. Like I know that's like a thing. But yeah, anyway, what a time to be introducing what will probably be what will be the most expensive iPhone of all time.
Yes.
But now, by what level? Like, how expensive is this expensive iPhone?
To what degree? Because you can get like right now the 1 terabyte 17 Pro Max is it $15.99?
Yeah, I mean, I think the starting price for the Fold will be more than that.
I think so too. No, sorry. On the Pro Max, you can get 2 terabytes for $19.99.
I don't know if I think it'll be more expensive than that. The folding phone. I think probably around $2,000, but I don't know if it starts at $2,000. You know?
Yeah.
I could imagine like $17 or $18.99 or something like that.
Yeah, it's kind of like the most expensive Pro Max or the entry level Fold are close.
Yeah,
but then the more expensive Fold is.
Man, I didn't remember you could get a $2,000 2 terabyte phone.
Me neither. I just like refreshed the store page because I was looking at the Pro. I was like, oh wait, I think the Pro Max is more. I was like, oh boy.
My word. I mean, obviously that is a very specific person, and it's like it's good that they offer that phone for that person. But wowzers.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's all good. Basically, expect your iPhone to be more expensive. A bit more expensive, right? Like we're not doubling the price of the phone, I don't think, but like it's going to be probably a 3-figure number more expensive, which is still big money.
It is.
But my thing here is that I think some deals are trying to be done, and I think he's talking in public on purpose. Tim Cook does not give interviews, right?
No, even
outside of Cycle.
Yeah, even to the Wall Street Journal, which is usually their preferred outlet for messaging like this.
Like this would be an easy thing to just slip to Mark Gurman, right? Mm-hmm. Or but this is very rare that this kind of stuff happens. So they clearly want to start signaling it now, so people get ready for it. Especially you got like 3 months. But I still think that the timing of things just seems mighty convenient to me.
Yeah. Okay, so for a little while, I've wanted to review the iPhone Air. And I recently switched back to it. So here we are.
Right. Just in time.
The iPhone Air is a phone that I love that I shouldn't love, but I do.
Secret love, you could say.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I recently switched back to it. So in the fall, I had a Pro and an Air because I needed a phone for work stuff with Underscore. I was like, well, I want to review both these phones and talk about both these phones because they're both really interesting. So I sort of bit the bullet and did both. Mm-hmm. I used the Air for a couple of months and then switched to the Pro, and that's what I've been using it until recently. Because every time I pick up the iPhone Air off my desk for something for work, is like, I really like this. I really like this phone, and so I was like, you know what? It's June. We're now 3 months from the end of the cycle. I was like, I should use this phone because who knows what I'm gonna, who knows what I'm gonna want to do in the fall. So, and you have one as well for similar reasons. Yeah. It is not your
exact reason.
It's not your daily.
No,
but you spend a lot of time with it.
A lot of time, yeah.
Yeah. So do you, before I get into the detail, what is sort of your overall feeling about the Air?
I think it feels great to hold, obviously, right? It's just a treat to hold that thing. It's very light, very thin. I don't need to put a case on it, so I get the full maximum benefit from it.
Same.
I absolutely could not live with it.
Hmm.
It's the camera.
The
I want
camera's
all the cameras.
Yeah. That's the weakest part, I think.
The battery life is not a problem for me, really, because in my life, I'm typically around charging, and when I'm not, I have a solution. You know, I either have a MagSafe battery or I have, I've got my backpack and it's got a cable in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's also USB-C, which is, it's easy enough to find that stuff, and wireless charging. So, like, the battery is not an issue for me, but the camera is definitely a problem. I like how big the screen is and how easy it is to hold. I think that combination is very nice.
I do too.
Right? Like I don't long for that screen size when I then use my Pro, but when I'm using the Air, it's like, oh, I really like this, and it's because I find the Pro less comfortable to hold than the Air, even though it's smaller, right? And so I wouldn't want my Pro to have a bigger screen, because then I know I wouldn't enjoy holding it. And so it's like I don't long for it so much, but then when I'm using the Air, I'm like, oh, this is a nice treat.
I really like the screen size, actually. It's 6.5 inches. It's right in the middle between the Pro and the Max. And the Pro Max is just, I haven't used one, but it's too big. Like it's just too big.
Yeah, I saw one at WWDC. Like, obviously, I saw a few actually, like people using them, and I feel like I'd forgotten. And it's like, my word, that is unbelievable.
It's big. The Pro feels a little tight to me. Maybe it's because I used an Air first and then went to the Pro, but the 6.5 inch on the Air is like, I like the real estate. Now it is made
it's
better.
Goldilocks size.
It is. It's right in the middle.
It's just right. Yeah,
just right. But the thinness and lightness helps with that as well. Like, would I feel the same way if it were as thick as a regular iPhone? Like, I don't know. But the combination's really good.
Mm-hmm.
The thinness and lightness for me has not worn off. In fact, sort of the opposite has happened. Like, it still feels really sort of bonkers that it's an iPhone. And then I pick up a regular phone, like my wife's iPhone 17 or my iPhone 17 Pro, and it feels ridiculous in comparison, both thickness and weight. And the Air actually isn't that much lighter than the regular iPhone 17. Like, they're fairly close, but the combination of the thinness and the lightness really makes those other phones feel dense in a way that is sort of strange.
Yep.
Sort of strange. But yeah, the camera is the biggest drawback. And for me, it is the quality. Like, the quality, it's the same camera, I believe, as the iPhone 17. But the 17 Pro is a noticeably better camera. At least it feels that way. But for me, it's the options that hurt. And for me, I would rather have zoom than ultra wide.
Okay.
And so the iPhone 17 having ultra wide, and the rumor that the iPhone Air 2 is going to pick up ultra wide, that also kind of bums me out because I prefer zoom. What do you think about that? Are you team ultra wide or team zoom? If you could get just one more on an Air.
Well, there's like an asterisk, right? I prefer a zoom camera, but the ultra wide lets me take pictures of things that are closer.
Yeah, there's no macro mode.
And the main sensor, the kind of minimum focal length, I don't know if I'm using the right phrases, but I think people understand what I mean. It's just not right. Like, I take pictures of things that are close to me all the time. I don't like the quality of the ultra wide in that scenario, but at least I get a photo. And I find that to be a problem with the Air. But from a usage perspective, like, the camera that I choose to use and gives me like perceived utility is the zoom lens over the ultra wide.
Yeah. Yeah, the lack of macro mode and the minimal focus distance, which is they used it correctly. It's pretty rough. I just like the other day needed to take a picture of a label on something, to send to Mary, and I sort of like put the phone as close as I would need it on a regular phone. I was like, oh, the Air is like, it cannot do this. Like, you have to
Yeah.
back it up. And that's it takes some getting used to. And I think for most people, the battery life in the camera, maybe the battery life more, because I'm like you, like I work at home. I could charge it basically whenever I want. I have a charger in my truck. I bought the battery, the MagSafe battery, and it is very handy sometimes to have that available to you. But the camera, like for me, that's what sort of puts me on the edge of it. And there've already been a couple of times since switching back to it that I've thought, ooh, like I didn't really get the picture or video that I wanted because of the phone, right? Not
And
because of the
that is
situation.
like, I can't live like that.
It hurts. It hurts a little bit.
Like, especially where I am at the moment in my life is like prime photo time.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know? And so I want the best images I can get. I mean, within reason, right? Like, I want the best images I can get from an iPhone. Not like I'm going to be carrying around a DSLR all the time, but and so knowing, so I just can't make that choice, you know?
Yeah, no, I get it, for sure. And that maybe that's one reason I prefer the Zoom is in my stage of life, it's taking video at a track meet or trying to get a picture of my kid in the school play, right? And
Yeah.
that's where the Zoom is really useful. And where the Air just really falls apart because it has the 2x, but it's, it's the same 2x you get on the main shooter. It's like, no, you really want the actual zoom lens to really punch in. And that's a bit of a bummer, It is. Like, you are making real trade-offs to have something so futuristic, but every time I pick it up or slide it in my pocket, I get a little like, this is really cool. Like, I really like this. And that's a very strong pull. And this is really good consumer advice, given that the phone's been out 9 months. It's a really good time to do a review. But I would say, like, even in the store, picking it up and playing with it, which is the vast majority of people's experience with the iPhone Air. Like, I know from Widget Smith stats, the iPhone Air is not popular. Like, it is not going well, and that's a bummer and sad. But living with it really is different than just playing with it in the store, because it's when you put it in your pocket. It's when you go for a walk and it's in your pocket and you don't feel the weight. That's when it feels magical and like the future in a way that is hard to sort of understand in, a couple minutes of a demo.
But like, what is this going to end up resulting in for you long term, do you think?
See, that's where I don't know, because I don't know if the Ultra, the foldable phone, is going to be for me in terms of like what I want to use every day. I just don't know. And it's going to have probably very similar trade-offs to the Air, right? Potentially battery life, potentially camera quality or options. And Apple's insistence, if you have a second camera, being the ultra wide, again, like I would prefer.
Why do you
Zoom.
think that they do that?
I think because it unlocks things like macro mode, and I would imagine they've got the data that
they must know, right?
Ultra wide is popular.
They wouldn't just put like the least popular camera on there. Like
the kids are doing the 0.5s,
Yeah, I mean, it could be a combination of that and what you mentioned, right? Of like, it could be because of the closest. It could both things, like whatever the reason.
I also think if you want to upsell somebody to a Pro and the camera really matters to them, like, oh, it's the one with the zoom, is a pretty good upsell, pretty good reason to upgrade to the Pro.
Interesting. Okay, maybe.
I
don't know if they think about that. Maybe they do. Like, the Air is expensive.
It is.
Like, maybe that works more on the regular phone. But still, are they putting the least popular sensor in it? Who knows? But this might be one of those things where, like, what people think they want and what they actually end up using more are different. And the reason might be just because they haven't got a good enough main camera, but whatever the reason,
maybe
the result is one way or another.
Yeah. But I do think whatever happens, I don't know if the iPhone Air is forever for this world. Like, it has the same problem that the Mini and the Plus had, that it's not selling well. We just missed a big app. Got a lot of users. Like, it's a pretty good representation of the market in terms of usage.
Especially the wide consumer market.
Yes. And I mean, the iPhone Air is behind devices that have not been supported by iOS for a couple of years. Like
Very
it's
sad
a
stuff.
smaller use than the iPhone XR when it comes to Widgetsmith users.
Oh my God, that's horrible.
It's not ideal. So what is its place, right? Is Apple content to have a regular phone, 2 Pros, and the foldable? Like, I could see that being the iPhone lineup, right? I think in a lot of way that makes a lot of sense for that to be the iPhone lineup. And so does the Air the road to the foldable, and eventually more phones will be like the Air in terms of thinness and lightness? And it's just like, is it like the first MacBook Air? It's like, oh, this is so far out in front, it's kind of a bad product. But people who loved that first MacBook Air loved it. But you know what happened? Every laptop's like the MacBook Air now, basically, right? They're all thin and light. Is that what's going to play out here over time? I think probably. But I think in the meantime, the iPhone Air may go away, or may continue to sort of bump along at the bottom of usage stats and be a weird set of trade-offs. Like the people that I know who use iPhone Airs, and I know a couple, they all love them. Like, I mean, knowing that they're making the trade-offs, right? So I don't know. The future of it is murky to me, but I do think while it's here, it is a very enticing look at what the iPhone could be like one day.
I don't know though. Like, I get that. I get that impulse. But iPhones keep getting thicker.
That's true.
And because I feel like the ideal scenario is they get thinner, but people like good cameras and big batteries. And I think they value that more over the thinness. And I think that's shown in the fact that the iPhone Air didn't succeed.
Yeah.
It's like, ideally, yes, they would get super thin and light, but I think even in a scenario where the battery technology improves, I'm not sure that they're going to make it that much thinner, because then they can put more other stuff in the box.
Right. And because there's trade-offs with the way the iPhone Air is designed, where, most of the compute part is up in the plateau, and the camera sticks out a lot even from the plateau. You just have one camera. Partially because under where the second camera would be is logic board. It's like, that's where the computer lives. And boy, does the bottom of the plateau, like the bottom edge, get hot. Like,
a little toasty.
If you, for some reason, all phones are like this, but if you edit your lock screen for a while, your phone really heats up. Like, I don't know what it's doing.
I don't know why that system is so intense.
It's true, though.
The OS.
Mm-hmm.
It's always been that way. It's wild.
Definitely.
By the way, they did add the new extend feature to the lock screen. So, like the extend an image.
Yeah,
that's
it's
in
just
photos.
built into the lock screen.
Now, the extend image option in the lock screen performs that action.
Good. That's a good
I
place
did it
for
yesterday.
That. Yeah, that's good. So the trade-offs are real. It's compelling. But it's definitely not perfect. And I keep just coming back, and not because of the name, but I do keep coming back to that first MacBook Air, that there were severe trade-offs with that laptop in terms of performance, in terms of livability. Like, you got weird ports under a weird door. Like, that's strange. It was the first MacBook to ditch the optical drive, which sounds silly now, but in 2008, it was a real thing. Like, a real big change in 2008. Apple had to invent things like the remote disk software. It's like, oh, you could put your install CD in another computer, and the MacBook Air can read it over the network. Like, some people had to go invent that.
I forgot about that. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, what a time.
There was a hack because it was only enabled for the MacBook Air at first, but there was a hack to get it to work on other machines. And it was important for me because in that era, like 2010, I guess, I was using a MacBook Pro that I had taken the optical drive out and I put an SSD in. So I had a small SSD in the optical drive bay, and I kept the factory hard drive in. So I could boot from the SSD but have like bulk storage on the drive. It was a real time to be alive, man.
Yeah, I remember all that stuff.
Yeah, there was like OWC like sold parts
Kits,
that like screwed into where the optical drive was.
Yep.
Yeah, I ran a MacBook Pro like that for a long time. And
I'm not surprised, Stephen.
yeah, right. And at that point, someone had like figured out how to install remote disk on other Macs. So that was very useful to me as someone who did not have an optical drive in their computer.
Very helpful. Until, what was it, Lion, when they started putting it on the USB keys?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just Lion, actually, because then it was download only. Just
Download
Lion.
only.
I've got one of those. It's like a prized possession.
Again, not surprised.
Yeah. When you do your Lion episode, call me.
Yeah, you just send us to this. We just look at it. Like,
That's right.
ooh,
That's
look
right.
at the USB key.
Ooh, it's so tiny.
That's many, many, many years into the future.
Yeah, that's a low priority
Yeah.
episode.
We want to do all the OS 10s, I think, is the plan. But we're not going to do them all at once.
No. Yeah. Lions when they took a bunch of ideas from iPad OS and just slammed them into the Mac.
Was that back to the Mac?
It was.
Mm,
It was back to the Mac.
Yeah.
So that's the iPhone Air. It's flawed, but I love it. But sometimes I'm frustrated by it. This episode of Connected is brought to you by Sentry. Most AI tools help you write code. Seer by Sentry is built for when it breaks. Seer is Sentry's AI debugging agent, and it's built right into Sentry. That means it has full context of what's going on in your app. Errors, traces, logs, replays, and code all in one place. So when something goes wrong, it finds the root cause and opens a PR before you even see the alert. It also reviews your PRs against real production failures, so bugs don't ship in the first place. Other AI tools, they're guessing. Seer knows why your app is broken. I really want my apps to perform smoothly. That's why we use Sentry at Relay. We run it against our content management system, a custom web app that we wrote and developed over time. And it means that when we have an issue, our web developer, who works for us extremely part-time, has all the information he needs when it's time to deal with something that's broken. It has saved us tons of time over the years. So join millions of developers at companies like Anthropic and Disney Plus and here at Relay who use Sentry to move faster. Try it for free at Sentry.io. That's Sentry, Sentry.io, and tell them that we sent you. They have a free dev plan, and listeners of Connected can use the code CONNECTED26 to get $100 in Sentry credits if you're a new user. My thanks to Sentry for the support of the show and all of Relay.
So there was a topic that I was seeing a lot on the internet in the last day or two, which is the Snap specs. I think if you've been on social media, you've seen these things. And I thought to myself, man, this feels like a mess to talk about. I thought about bringing it to the show, and then was like, I don't want to. And then I opened the Notion document, and you'd written a lot. So I was like, all right, we'll talk about it. And then I got to read some more articles.
Yeah.
Because it's just one of these things where it's like, I just don't know if anyone really has anything good to say. And so it's like, I didn't really have a take. But going through some articles, I developed some takes. So
yeah. So this is the Snap specs.
Yep.
They're AR glasses.
Yep.
And they're going to be $2,200.
Yep.
A lot of money. They look ridiculous, which we'll get to.
Yep.
But from the technology and product perspective, I do think there's some interesting things to talk about.
Okay.
Because at first I felt like you did. It's like, well, I mean, yeah, like we would just dunk on them, and that's fun sometimes, but it's not a topic, right? And we want to be fun and positive.
There is, I would say, shockingly little coverage about what they do.
Because of the looks.
Yeah. Like when you go to their website, they have examples of like, these are things you can do.
Yeah.
And feels like no one's really talking about what it can do, which is, I understand, but also it's interesting at the same time. Yeah.
So they are standalone AR glasses. So that they made a point of like you don't have like a cable running over your ear to like the compute module in your pocket or a battery in your pocket, looking at the Vision Pro.
And it's not like beaming everything from the Snapchat app. Or the Snap app on your phone or whatever. Is that the case? Like it's not.
Yeah, it's like a standalone computer. Okay. And unlike what Meta is doing, which is like a fixed display in one of the lenses, these are full on AR displays. So they can do things like, one of the classic examples of AI is like, take a picture of these ingredients and tell me what to make for dinner. That's a stupid example. Like, no one is living life that way. But Mark Gurman keeps repeating it. One cool thing about AR, I actually think is cool, is I'm walking in a city I'm unfamiliar with, give me directions, right? Do you remember when Turn by Turn came to the Apple Watch? Maybe it was from the beginning. But I remember the first time like navigating a city I wasn't familiar with just with my watch, and it felt like the future because I didn't have to be looking down at my phone, right? It would just tap me, and I could glance at my wrist and say, okay, you're going to turn left here. It's a fantastic use for the watch, one that I still use when I travel, honestly, like all the time. I mean, not all the time, I don't travel very much, but when I travel, I use it. So one of the things this can do is provide AR directions. Another thing it can do is provide AR answers. So one of the examples they give is where does the coolant go in this car? And like as a car person, I understand what it's doing is it's looking for like basically the universal label for like coolant goes here. But for someone who doesn't know that, who is intimidated by things like that, it's compelling. Now, how good is that? How good is the model they're using for that? Like who knows, right? That's yet to be determined. But those are the sorts of things you can do.
Their set of demos are like the greatest hits of AR glasses, right? It's like that one that you just mentioned. That's the HoloLens one.
Yes.
Right? Like, here's how to fix the sink, right? And then they've got watch a YouTube video, right? There's a bunch of Vision Pro-like things in here. Like there's a lot of apps and experiences. There's games. I thought one was pretty cool. I don't know why anyone would need this, which is, but like someone's playing basketball and it's showing them like the trail of the ball into the hoop. It's just like, there's an interesting thing you can see. So there's like a lot of like things you've seen in other places, but this is in full AR glasses, which is different, right? Like untethered AR glasses as opposed to, the Vision Pro or something like it.
And the technology to do this, like the actual lenses and the way the displays work is, it seems like a pretty big step forward. Some of the technology is actually done like in-house by Snap. Like they have like engineers, like hardware engineers working on this stuff, which is really fascinating because I don't think about Snap as a product company in that way, right? Partially because I'm too old to use Snapchat and I don't own any glasses that are smart. And so I just don't think about them as a company that, I don't know, like has engineering at this level. But clearly they do. And some of the specs on the display are pretty interesting. So they say that the result of this is comparable to a 24-inch desktop monitor when you're working. So like sitting in front of an iMac, right? Or a 115-inch cinema screen placed 10 feet away when you're watching a movie, which is sort of like this. It sounds stupid when you talk about it, but this is sort of like the Vision Pro. Like sometimes what you're working on in the Vision Pro is small and in front of you, but then sometimes it's immersive and really big, right? They can pull off that same effect because they are using more of the lens as a possible display, which is pretty cool. And again, it's all built in.
What do you think the quality of the screen is? Like the image is like, do you think?
That's so hard to tell because everything they show, like in their press materials, like how real is it? Like, is that captured from the glasses? I think in some cases, like the car example, the video is kind of grainy and not super sharp. It's like, well, if this was a render, wouldn't you make it look better? So maybe that's actually captured from the glasses. But, how does it look in low light? How does it look in bright sunlight? If you have like a lot of contrast behind you, does part of the image disappear? Even in the Vision Pro with pass-through, you run into that a little bit. But with the Vision Pro, you can dial that out, right? And just be on the moon and be typing your blog post. This, because you're always seeing the world behind you, they have to account for a lot of variation in that. And, it's not gonna, I don't think it's gonna look as good as the Vision Pro can look on its best days, but I think it may have some of the same downsides, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like just light coming in is just not gonna, like I just think there's gonna be a lot of light coming in when you're looking at something. I just can't imagine the clarity of the image being that good.
Yeah.
But
like there's an example in their blog post. You're standing at a street corner and you're looking at a building and it's telling you it's a restaurant. And the person turns and the light is coming from their right side. And there's like a telephone pole or like a light pole with like the crosswalk thing on it. And the right side of it where the sun comes in is completely blown out. Like it just disappears in the image. It's so much brighter than everything else.
Okay.
And, is that a side effect of the method it was captured with? Is that how it actually looks like when there's interface up? Like, is it dimming the reward a little bit so you run into these strange things? Like, I don't know. That's where reviews are going to come in. And I suspect, like Vision Pro reviews a couple of years ago, reviewers are going to have a hard time sharing with their audience what it is actually like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, remember the Vision Pro reviews? It was like, oh, like using one was different than watching a review of somebody using one. And yes. I think this will suffer from the same thing.
I know that you can never really know these things, but it's not super encouraging that they didn't appear to have any hands-on demo.
That is always a red flag to me.
So it's not great. It's not a great... And people know this too, right? Like, even if you weren't planning on it, you know that if you don't do it, even if everything's fine, people are going to be like, I don't know. Yeah. And so, like, if you don't do it, it tends to be a signal that things aren't hunky-dory.
Yeah.
And actually, if we could just jump a second to the looks, right? They look terrible.
Yeah.
Right?
We were talking about the iPhone Air trade-offs to be thin and light. The trade-offs with this product clearly was like, we want it to be all built in. Like the battery, it's got 2 Snapdragon processors. Wild.
I don't know why it needs 2. I mean, I'm sure there's a really good reason.
I assume it's like the
Vision Pro has 2 processors, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So
one for computing, one for like the visual pipeline. But to do all of that with any sort of battery life, they're really big. They're like a regular pair of glasses that got like 20% bigger. Like if you put a shirt through the dryer that shouldn't go through the dryer and it comes out, it's still the same shirt, but it's like smaller. Yeah. This is the opposite of that. And there are all these pictures from the event with the guy wearing them and his ears are like folded down.
Right. So the imagery on the website where they've got models and celebrities to wear them, they look possible because they're framing them in such a way that it works. But Snap CEO Evan Spiegel was wearing them and also did an interview with CNBC, and they look horrific on him and they look incredibly uncomfortable. And it's just like the meme is just his ear being like squashed down by these things. And it just, you figure that is clamping the side of his head, right? And squashing on his ears. Like there is no world in which this is comfortable. And Vic Song at The Verge wrote about this. And, she is a wearables reviewer, right? This is kind of what she does. And one of the things she really talks about in this article is the weight. And so they're between 132 and 136 grams, right? And she said that in research that she's done, like an optician will say that most people, they want something that's between 15 and 35 grams for a pair of glasses.
Whoa.
Yeah. And that typical smart glasses are between 40 and 70 grams. So they are about twice the weight of, say, Meta Ray-Bans or something.
Yeah, which I think are 69 grams, according to her article.
So that's not good, Bob. Like, it's just again, and so this, the reason I went to mention it is to go back to like the no hands-on thing of like, they know,
Yeah,
right? They know. There's no world in which the people making this product are not aware of all the things that we're becoming aware of, right?
Yeah.
That they
yeah,
look terrible. People are going to meme it, but you have to do it anyway, right? He can't not do this. Like, he's got to do it. And I find sometimes this kind of product announcement is very interesting because it's like, they know as well things we don't know. And I think things we don't know is maybe they don't work very well right now, but like they're kind of making it happen. But you kind of just have to do it and go through with it because you at a certain point you have to ship them. You have to start showing it off and you have to ship them. If you're ever going to try and make it something that's good, it has to come out. Which is also like a bigger thing to me of like, we're in such an interesting point right now for the next hardware platform. Like, it's very clear that like a lot of companies want it to be some kind of wearable, right?
Yeah. Well, they just want it not to be an iPhone. They want to be away from
But
Apple.
even Apple, right? Like, even Apple they wanted it to be the Apple Watch. It wasn't going to be that. And they're rumored to be working on a bunch of things now, right? So like, even they are like, oh, maybe it's going to be a wearable. And if it's going to be a wearable, we want to be in the game. But these products seem to be harder to build than the iPhone was, right? Like, realistically. Because the first iPhone was good. That was a good product. And importantly, it was also so much better than everything else that it was replacing at doing the things that it did. And none of these devices are even close to that, right?
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
None of these devices, I don't know if they will ever get close enough to being better than what an iPhone is, especially because the features that they have, the iPhone can have them. You just got to hold the screen up, right? Or like, if it's the AI things where you can just talk to your device, you just talk to your iPhone. You just got to get your iPhone out. And so I don't know. Like, there is something in this, but it's just such a complicated thing because they have to start shipping stuff so they can make them better. But nobody's going to buy these things. So, like Meta got closest with the Ray-Bans, and now people don't like those anymore. And so they're kind of go back to square one. But then they have their Ray-Ban display, and no one would want to wear those either because they're also still too big and chunky. And so, like, how do you keep pushing the technology? I'm just not sure that they can. And also, the story's messed up. So Spiegel did an interview with CNBC, right, where he's wearing them the whole time, and it looks... During the whole interview, every time he moves his head, you can see the displays, right? There's like, when light hits the glasses, you can see that there's a display in these glasses. I want to read you a quote from this interview.
Okay.
I think something that, this is Spiegel talking, I think something that people are really looking for in this moment, where they feel like screens are distracting them. People are spending, on average, more than 7 hours a day staring down at screens instead of connecting with their friends and staying present in the world. And we think specs offer a totally new opportunity to bring computing into the world around you and help computing feel more human and more personal. Buddy, you know that ain't it, though. You know you're wrong. What, so the way to get people off screens is to put screens in their eyes?
Yeah.
You want to go from 7 hours a day to 20?
Yeah. Yeah.
This ain't it. Like,
it's not it.
And we're back to the humane thing again. You can't sell someone a product that's supposed to be in their lives for every moment they're awake, attached to them physically, and tell them it's to help you get away from your devices. No, you're wrong. Like, there are reasons you can say these things exist. Do that second part, but don't talk about how we're creating this product, which is screens in front of your eyes, to get you away from looking down at screens. Oh, what we really need is looking up at screens. You fixed it for us, Spiegel. Thank you.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not it.
I mean, I think back, it's actually kind of still a thing, I think, when you look at your Apple Watch and you're with somebody and there's that thought of like, did they just check their watch so they can get out of here? That's awkward. And like, it has faded, I think, with the Apple Watch, but it's still a little bit of a thing, I think. How much more is it going to be when someone walks in with one of these products and it's like, are you doing something else while you're looking at me? Right. I will never feel, I don't think, like I have someone's full attention wearing a product like this.
Because you will always assume, I mean, because we all know what our phones are like, right? Our phones are always wanting our attention. And so it's going to be putting the notifications in your eyes. Like, we spoke about this on this show years ago. And I think we shared the point of view is we do not want notifications in our eyes.
Yep.
Like, it's a bridge too far. And so, like, I just don't know. Like, I think that there is a product type, which is really interesting. But I think too quickly, a lot of these companies want to be everything, and then it starts to fall apart. Like, I think the Meta Ray-Bans, technologically wise, pull Meta out of it. Just the technology, right? Headphones and a camera in a pair of sunglasses is just a good product. Like, again, please just pull away all of your issues for as much as you can about dystopian futures. I understand. But we all take photos of our friends and our families and our loved ones all the time. Like, assuming people use these things correctly, if you want to be able to take a picture, being able to take a picture with your sunglasses is good. Like, and being able to listen to podcasts from your sunglasses, it's just good technology. Like, that is a good piece of technology. But now we're like, yeah, but what if we put a display in it? And what if we do this? And what if we do this? And what if the camera's always looking? It's like, no, come back, come back. And so I don't know.
I get what you mean by saying they need to do it, right? Because part of these announcements are also like, it's a developer platform, and they tout how many updates they've done to their OS and the API calls and all that stuff. And if you want to build a platform, you got to have most of the time you have awkward hardware at the beginning, right? Like, the first iPhone was amazing, but flawed, right? The first Apple Watch could do some cool things, but the battery life was really bad. I mean, how many years did it take for the Apple Watch to have an always-on screen, right? This is the way these things go. But when they're on your face, it just feels like the curve you have to overcome is much steeper.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that fair?
I think it's a huge curve. Like the steepness is massive, and I don't know if any of these companies can do it. I don't know if anyone's going to be able to handle it.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's such a big ask for so much money. And like, yeah, I know this one is what it is now, but it's not like it's going to get like massively cheaper in a lot of time. No one's going to buy this product, right?
No
They'll
one.
sell hundreds of them. No one's going to buy this, like, realistically. So I don't.
I mean, think
it's
about
hard to like.
I mean, think about the Meta Ray-Bans, the number they've sold, right? Which I don't think we know, but it's not.
It's a lot,
but it's not.
They have sold a lot, but it's not an iPhone.
It's not an Apple Watch. It's not AirPods, right? This is going to be a fraction of that because of the looks, because of the weight and the comfort.
Upload VR report that in 2025 they sold 7 million of them. That's pretty good.
Okay,
that's pretty good. So that's a product, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's a,
Yeah. This is not.
Well, okay, so this is interesting, right? So in February 2025, they had sold 2 million to date. But then in 2025 total, they sold 7. So it really shot up.
Snap's not going to be able to do that. Not with this.
I mean, I'm really not exaggerating. I think they will sell in the hundreds of pairs. Because what is this? Who's wearing? No one's going to wear that. Like, I don't think we mentioned it. 4 hours of battery life?
Ooh.
Like, I understand why, but it's like, well, but I'm supposed to wear them all the time? Like, I don't know, man. I know why they're doing it. They got to do it, but.
So you're not pre-ordering?
No, I don't think I will be. I would like with all of these things, because I'm interested in technology, I would like to try them. Like,
Same.
what is that like? Like, I would like to see what it looks like. I would like to see how well it works, and and how well it doesn't. Like, it would be just interesting. But I don't know who the person. I don't imagine a consumer that wants these. Like, I don't know why you would want them. Because they don't look good. If they looked good, yeah, maybe. Like, that's the only reason the Meta's worked out, right? Because they look like Ray-Bans. And so it's like people were willing to wear them. Who's going to wear these? Even if somebody doesn't know they're a display, they're going to think you're wearing some really weird glasses.
Yeah.
It's not even so much to like, oh, if I wear these, people will know I have a display on my face. No, people will think that you have very strange taste, I think, in eyewear.
You know what I have strange taste in?
What is that?
Podcast closings.
Okay. Show me.
Hey, yo. It's the end of the show. I don't know. I got nothing.
Yeah, that was weird.
It was
bad.
strange.
So you were right. You were right.
We'll be back next week, but there's a lot of stuff you can do in the meantime. You don't have anything going on the next 7 days until we're back, right? So here's some things you could do. You should check out the show notes at relay.fm/connected/608. Links to everything we spoke about are there. 2 very special links. You can leave feedback. So leave us a comment, suggestion, a question, anything you want. Drop us a note there. It can be anonymous if you have secret things to tell us. And you can join and get Connected Pro, which is the longer and ad-free version of the show that we do each and every week. That also comes with a bunch of goodies from Relay, access to our Discord, a couple of members-only podcasts, and over the summer, some member specials from some of our shows. So we'll be doing one next month, so stay tuned for more details there. Get Connected Pro. It's a great deal at just $7 a month. Federico is not here, but you can read his writing at macstories.net. Myke is here, and you can hear him across a bunch of shows here at Relay. Episode 3 of his and Jason's series on the Apple II just dropped. As we were recording, I saw it go up, so go check that out.
I will also use this as a moment to say we're doing a thing next week on Upgrade, which is essentially we wanted to do another taster of what people can expect from design in California. We have been recording the beginning of our history of OS X with John Siracusa.
Ooh.
And the first episode of that will be a part of next week's Upgrade.
That'll be exciting.
Yeah.
You can find my writing over at 512pixels.net. I'd like to thank our sponsors this week for supporting the show, Squarespace and Century. Until next time, Myke, say goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, y'all.